Lazy exercises. How many sets and reps and exercises do you need to do per body part in order to obviously get results, but also to recover fast, or at least to get recover fast, so that way you can get back to life? Because here's the thing: one of the things that I try to do, what I prefer to do, is that I don't want to be sore the following day. Right? I don't want to be sore during my rest days. I want to recover as fast as possible, so that way I can live my life, so I can go do the things I want to do. Right? I want to put in effort. Right? I want to work out. Right? Trigger hypertrophy, whatever you want to call it. Right? You want to trigger the muscle growing mechanism, but then go back to work. Back to life. Right? Back to doing other things. I don't want to spend my time away from the gym laying in bed, basically. Right? Like, I want to still be active. I still want to do things. So the sooner the body parts that I'm working recover, the better. For example, something I tend to do, like if I do a split during a week, like when I'm not doing a 1 day full body thing and I'm splitting it up, uh, everything upper body I do it at the beginning of the week, everything lower body towards the end of the week. Especially if I have a job where I'm constantly, walking and using my legs, because every day is leg day. That's the way I put it. So because I know I'm going to be walking a lot at work, or period. Let's say I'm not even working. Let's say I'm just living my life. I'd rather leave leg day for the end of the week. So for an example would be like I do upper body Monday, and then I do leg day on Friday, right? Or if I want to do it sooner, I could obviously try to do it sooner, but ideally more at the end of the week, because that way during the weekends I can just rest. I can just lay down, be a couch potato, right, for the weekend, before Monday comes, where I do upper body again, and then do my from Monday to Thursday, do whatever I'm doing Monday to Thursday. That might include my legs, so do that. But because that would be lighter work, and I should be stronger by then from the leg day from the previous week, I should be 5 pounds stronger, right? I can handle chilling and relaxing and doing things with my legs throughout the week before leg day comes, which will be Friday again, right? And then do leg day, and then just rinse and repeat, right? I mainly do one set, part of that, so that I can recover faster, right? And it's a heavy set, it's 5 reps, one set, 5 reps. Um, if I want to recover faster, it'd be one set, 10 reps or more. But once I go beyond 10 reps, one set's not enough. Once I go beyond 10 reps and I'm in the 20 rep range, I can do like 2 sets at least minimum, right? I could do like 3, but I'll do 2, as you can see in my suggestion. 20 reps, 3 sets, 1 exercise. Now, whether I'm doing 5 reps, 10 reps, or 20 reps, it's still going to be 1 exercise. So if I'm working on my chest, mainly it's just bench press, mainly flat bench press, mainly. That's if I'm using like a Smith machine or something. Right now, my chest workout is dumbbell fly, incline, like a slight incline. So it's a little bit higher than flat, but not like 45 degrees or any higher than that. So it's just probably like, I guess I'll say 10 degrees or something like that. So it's a 10-degree incline dumbbell fly. And it's less about, it's more about stretching. When I do the exercise, it's about stretching out the chest and trying to go beyond. Like the main thing is to stretch the chest muscle out. So it's more about stretching than it is about contracting. So it's less about bringing my arms together. It's more about slowly lowering my arms to stretch out the chest. So that's what I mainly focus. So the lowering of the weight is the part that I'm focusing on when it comes to working on my chest, not the lifting part. So lifting doesn't matter as much as the lowering, is what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm doing with that. So like I said, 20 reps, 3 sets, 1 exercise per body part. The 20 reps is going to, especially doing 3 sets, is going to take you some time, especially if you're resting like 10 minutes per set. So it's going to take you some time. But if you have all day, not a big deal. Now, if you're time constrained, this, that, and third, then one set, uh, one rep. I'm assuming that somebody has the time to do 3 sets. If you don't have the time to do 3 sets, then one set, 20 reps. If you need more, if you don't, if you're really low on time, you could do 15. So it'd be 15 reps, one set, one exercise, still one exercise, right? Because the lowest you can go is one exercise per body group, per body part, right? And then of course you can, if you don't want to do a 1 day workout routine, because again you're time constraint, you can break it down into 2 days. Just make sure they're back to back. So if you do upper body exercises on Monday, then lower body on Tuesday, for example, and try to throw in some ab exercise. Split it up, upper abs on Monday, lower abs on Tuesday, for example, right? So you want to split up your core exercises. Unless you want to skip it, I don't recommend skipping it. I would rather you incorporate it, of course, and split it up that way. And that's only if you're really constrained on time. That's one of the reasons why you would split a workout routine. Would be because you don't have that much time to do a full body, so you have to split it up, right? But if you can do 20 reps, 3 sets, one exercise per body part, and do a full body routine, like on a Monday, for example, then do it, right? And then do that every Monday, and rinse and repeat. And you will recover pretty fast. Now, if you want to, if your goal to recover fast is because you want to get back in the gym, okay, that's a slightly different story, right? So then, let's say, hypothetically, you want to work out like 5 times a day. I mean, not a day, 5 times a week. You want to work out 5 times a week. All right, so then I would definitely recommend one set a day. One set, 20 reps per exercise, right? You could do more reps, like you could even try to bump it up to 30 reps. 30 reps, one set, one exercise, each, full body, and do that every day. Because the more you increase the reps, that obviously means you're lowering the weights. The more time you're putting your muscles to work, right? You're adding up the stress to the muscles from, because you're working them, right? You're doing 30 reps, for example, right? You're working the muscle, so of course the muscle will be stressed out, and your body will heal that stress that you put your muscle, right? The work you put into your muscle, and it will, cause some growth, of course. But because you didn't, stress it out like to such a high degree with, like, how heavy weights would stress you out a lot harder than if you use lighter weights. Lighter weights will stress you out less. But because we're doing, we're trying to deliberately stress ourselves out multiple times, it adds up. So like 20 reps or 30 reps of a light weight will have a similar effect, not identical, but similar, like close enough effect to as if you did 5 reps of a heavier weight. It have a similar effect, but you are causing the muscle to feel endurance. So you're kind of like telling your body, like, hey, we need endurance strength, right? We need the strength to endure this repetitive exercise, as opposed to, so in other words, you're kind of influencing more of the slow twitch muscle fibers than you are influencing the fast twitch. The fast twitch is for, lifting really heavy and using as much strength all at once, versus slowly using the strength. So then your body will recover faster because it knows it needs to endure, right? Endurance, right? It needs to endure. So anything above 15 reps is mainly endurance. Anything less than 10 reps, like 5, so 5 or less, that's strength. That leans more towards strength, or the fast twitch muscle fibers than the slow twitch. Anything 10 and above obviously starts leaning into the middle category of slow and fast, but because you're still using heavy weights, but at a higher rep. But the higher the reps are, which means the lower the weights, the more you're going into the slow twitch category. There is something to be said about moving the weights slowly up and down. So when you're like working out, slowly moving the weights, there's something to be said about that. But that's for a different, different topic. Right now, it's about, if you want to work out but you want to recover fast, using lighter weights. At least if you're like yeah, I want to recover fast, but I also want to do like I want to work out more, so to speak. You know, I don't want to do just one set. Then it's like, okay, high reps, 3 sets. So that's why I said 20 reps, 3 sets, one exercise. You might think like, oh, but what if I want to do 2 exercise? I don't recommend it specifically, but if you want to do 2 exercises, right? Obviously, it'll be um, 1 set per each exercise, right? So technically, and that's 1 set per each exercise per body part. So it'd be 2 exercise. I don't think I said that right. It'd be 2 exercise, 2 sets, obviously, because it's one set for each exercise. So it's 2 exercise, which adds up to 2 sets per body part, and you're doing the 20 reps. Oh, sorry, I meant to say you're doing 10 reps. So right, yeah, 10 reps. No, that'd be heavier weights. Give me a second, I'm getting a little confused. Oh yeah, yeah. No, it is 10 reps. Because you're doing 2 exercises, you're splitting the reps up because you want to do 10 reps of one exercise and then 10 reps of the other one. So it's kind of like a superset. Because you're working the same muscle, but you want to use 2 different exercises, you're going to have to split up the reps among the 2 exercises. So that's how that will work out. I don't recommend it. One of the easiest things you can do is just, it'd be better to do it anyway. This way would be to do 20 reps straight instead of breaking it down to 2 different sets of 10 and 2 different exercises. Just do one exercise, 20 reps, and then move on to the next body part, right? And continue until you hit all your body, and then move on with the rest of your life. So that's the way I look at it. Um, of course, I'm looking into the whole hypertrophy stuff that a lot of people like to say on the internet, because that seems to sound like it's a method to grow muscles without damaging muscles. So it's like, well, that sounds interesting. That sounds like something I like because of the fact that I want to recover quickly. So if I'm not damaging the muscles, then there's technically no reason to recover because I didn't do any damage to it. Then so it's a way of, like, I guess, you know, stressing the muscle enough to cause it to grow, but not push it to the point where it's like I can't try again, right? So something I always like to think about is like how Wolverine has the healing factor, and it's like if muscle building comes from muscle damage and protein synthesis, right? Consuming protein, then all Wolverine has to do is lift a lot of weights, eat a lot of protein bars, and drink a lot of protein shakes, right? Or just eat a lot of meat. Obviously the idea is to consume a lot of protein and just keep lifting heavy, right? And he should just keep getting stronger. So basically, every set he should be adding 5 pounds because his healing factor should be pretty fast, and he should be drinking a protein shake, in between sets, right? Like that's why I would think. Like if I had Wolverine's healing factor, I would take advantage of that. That's what I would try to do. If micro tears or my muscle damage plus protein equals muscle growth, that's what I would do. But if that's not the case and that's not how muscles grow, the way they grow is through some other method, then okay, I gotta look into that. But for now, I like it when people ask me for, the information instead of just flat out disagree with me. Be like, all right, tell me your ways, basically. I was like, good. All right, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to answering questions to those who want to learn, not to disrespect me or troll me for ignorant reasons. It's like, if you want to learn, I will teach. If you don't want to learn, then stay ignorant.